Curse word. No. All right. Welcome back to the Commanders Classified podcast. My name is L.E. I have Mike and I have Eric in the building. Fellas, what's up?
What's poppin'?
Happy to be here.
That's right. Glad to have you, as always, folks, and all the fans that are listening. We appreciate you. Look, subscribe, tell your friends, or don't. It is what it is. We just like making Commanders content. So the Commanders just had an incredible game against the Chargers. Eric, the offense was clicking late in the game. The defense made key stops. What did that game mean for this Commander season overall?
I liked it. You know what it reminded me of last season. That was the type of game that we got into last season, where just things broke our way every time. You know, a little got off to a bit of a rough start, but that goes to show you, I think, the value of that scripted 15 plays, because once the Chargers hit play 15, their offense just fell apart. And they couldn't muster anything on offense from that. And also the Commanders just got a lot of breaks. You know, the Chargers committed so many penalties. The offensive line play on the Chargers was absolutely terrible. But offensively, you know, it's the second week in a row this team's put up 27 points. Looked amazing with Jayden Daniels back there. He looked like his old self. Probably his best game of the three that he's played this year. And of course, my boy Bill exploded the week that I benched him in fantasy football. So super excited about that. Thanks, Bill, for showing up. He hadn't done anything in 3 weeks, but yeah, I put you on the bench, and the guy I replaced you with spiked the ball on the 1 yard line. So I'm a little salty about that, Bill. But and I lost by the exact amount of points that I lost on that play. So it's pretty awesome. But getting back to the Commanders, and nobody cares about my fantasy football woes. Great win. I was really excited about the game this week. The offense looked spectacular. The defense looked competent. Got a little bit of help from the Chargers on both sides, and a lot of help from the referees, even though most of those penalties were legit on the Chargers. They're just playing really bad football right now. Exactly what this team needed, though. I'm excited to see if they can build on that next week against the Bears.
Yeah, and I think that the Chargers will figure it out again. I think they're going through a little bit of a slump, but I think we helped push them into a slump. And I'll tell you what, man, I think them losing Omarion Hampton was huge for them as well. In the second half, they really didn't have a go-to guy. Mike, did the defense make a statement for you? Are you a believer now in Joe Witt and this defense?
Absolutely not. I'm not, man. There still are flaws within the defense. But I'll give them credit for Sunday, though. They took advantage of a poor offensive line. The Chargers, they were banged up heading into the game, got more banged up during the game. That's happened before for this team a couple of times over the last few years. And when that happens, they take advantage of it and destroy the offensive line and generate pressure on the opposing quarterback. So I'm not going to fault them for doing what they did on Sunday. But the coverage is still shaky. And no one can prove to me otherwise. Like, Keenan Allen was still getting his man. I know he fumbled the ball, but Quentin Johnson did catch the pass, like, to put him in the red zone. Quan Martin just made a heck of a play, maybe a season-altering play. But the fact of the matter is that secondary still is a bit shaky. Linebacker play definitely shaky. But, I mean, they shut him out for 3 quarters, so give them credit where credit is due for this weekend. But I got to see them do it again.
And maybe you will on Monday Night Football. Are you ready for some football? As the Washington Commanders take on the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football. Eric, I know you're kind of an old school guy. Your favorite Monday night booth pairing is who?
My favorite Monday night booth pairing. Oh, Lord. Going back in the day, there used to be a nice combo of Al Michaels and, well, of course, it's got to be Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, and Dan Dierdorf. And the reason is Super Bowl 22. That's who called that game. So that's always going to be my favorite. Monday Night Football trio, actually, not a pairing. So, yeah, Frank Gifford, Al Michaels, and Dan Dierdorf for the win, baby.
I like it. Mike, what about you? Do you have a favorite pairing of or a trio? Do you want to bend the rules of Monday night TV analysts?
For me, it has to be the final duo of the original Monday night on ABC, and that was of course Al Michaels and John Madden. When they got together, it was the closest that I'll see to Jordan and LeBron playing on one team, in my opinion. Like they were just, you got the best of the best. Madden, he was cooking with Pat Summerall on Fox for Fox and CBS before he moved to ABC with Al Michaels, and he was doing his thing. Al Michaels with Monday Night Football, the Olympics, even called a couple of basketball games. So those two pairing together, iconic run that bled over to Sunday Night Football when they moved to NBC, but yeah, I'll definitely say those two were probably my favorite all time, not just Monday Night Football.
I think when what I like in analysts and commentators on the game is they make it feel like a big game, right? Because Monday Night Football is special, and who did that for college football was Brent Musburger for a long time with college football. I think he ended up getting in some trouble, but whatever. Like he was, when you heard his voice, you knew that game mattered. It was a big deal. And I think Monday Night Football has a really long tradition with all of that. I don't remember Dan Dierdorf, Frank Gifford, or those folks.
Yeah, I'm old. Sorry,
Eric. I think I actually like the Mike Tirico, John Gruden, and Ron Jaworski booth.
Oh yeah, that was fire.
They were really.
Jaworski was super underrated as an announcer. That guy, really observant, really good at calling plays, and Gruden just loves everybody.
Yes.
But yeah, Jaworski, I like a lot I liked a lot as a commentator.
We can all admit that the worst one was the one with the comedian. I wish I could
Dennis
remember
Miller?
his name. Yeah, Dennis Miller.
And Tony
That was
Kornheiser. Yeah, remember? Yes.
That was just.
Oh yeah,
awful.
they had Dennis Miller and Tony Kornheiser in the same booth.
That was awful. Not one memorable moment I can give you from that trio. I can't even remember who the third person was. It was just awful.
Yeah.
It was. I think, was it Tirico?
I was thinking it
might have been Mike Tirico.
Yeah, it could have been.
Or Mike Tirico. He deserved so much better.
Oh,
I always liked Dennis Miller as a comedian, but yeah, as a football commentator, that booth just didn't work at all.
Madden and Michaels, they called the 2005 Miracle Cowboys game.
Yeah, they
forgot
did.
to mention that earlier.
I can't, for me, John Madden and Pat Summerall is just the duo.
Yeah.
I can't, that's what I grew up on as a little kid. And every Sunday I get to wait for him to say 60 minutes and murder, she wrote. Every 60 minutes. It was amazing. So Pat Summerall, I know you guys are a little younger. You got late in his career.
Oh no. Summerall. Yeah, I got Pat Summerall.
Summerall was so good. Summerall and Madden were so good together.
I got Fox Pat Summerall and Madden, not CBS Summerall and Madden.
Yeah, I remember the CBS duo. Again, that's another, Redskins glory years kind of memory for me, just growing up watching them calling those NFC East games. But Al Michaels is the best in the business, so anybody you pair him up with, it's going to work.
Al Michaels was that dude for sure.
Still cooking too. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, I love it. Like just the pageantry of it all, and Monday Night Football being such a big deal. I don't like when my team plays on Monday Night Football because the whole Sunday goes by, your team hasn't done anything. Once Monday comes, then it's exciting. But you also got to stay up late and go work the next day.
I love it. I love it Monday Night Football because I can actually get stuff done on Sunday. And I can watch whatever I want and focus on fantasy football, and I can mow grass and go to the gym. And it's a wonderful thing when my team plays on Monday night, except actually staying up till midnight on Monday night. That kind of sucks for me.
Well, it's about to happen a lot.
That's right, because we are a primetime team. So we're taking on the Bears from the Munsters from the Midway, Chicago. Let's see, they've been a football team for 105 years, by the way. Let's see, their mascot is Staley DeBear. I bet you guys never knew his first name. Also, by the way,
nor did I care, but go ahead.
What did you care? That's right. Comment in the comment section what your favorite Monday night broadcast booth was. We want to know. All right. They are off to a better start than they have been in recent years. They have Ben Johnson as their head coach. If you remember, Ben Johnson came from Detroit, who we spanked in the playoffs, and he had to get out of town because they got beat down. So no, but he went to Chicago. He's got them at 500. They're 2-2. They're coming off a bye week. and they are led at quarterback by Caleb Williams, drafted in the same draft class as Jayden Daniels, one position ahead. Those two will forever be linked at the hip to this point in their careers. Jayden Daniels has the better career. Caleb Williams does have a lot of potential and a fantastic arm. Let's see. Eric, question for you, sir. There seems to be like a fake Bears, I shouldn't say fake, but a Bears Commanders rivalry that's sort of out there and acknowledged amongst the fan bases. Is this real or is this just a social media thing, do you think?
So again, being the senior member of the podcast, I 100% remember a very strong rivalry back in the day between these two teams when they were both consistently good every year. Started, I believe, in '84 when the Bears eliminated the Redskins from the playoffs after 2 straight Super Bowl appearances. They knocked them out in the divisional round of the playoffs. '85, it was a blowout. The Bears, that was one of the best teams in history, just blew the doors off the Redskins. '86 and '87, the Bears were the top dog in the NFC, number 1 seed both years. Both seasons, Washington went in there and knocked them out of the playoffs. So that's a real thing for me anyway. Recently, I think it's been rekindled a little bit just because of the 2 quarterbacks and kind of the resurgence clearly of Washington and the hope of resurgence with Chicago. I love to see it because these are 2 storied franchises in the NFC. It's good for the league when 2 teams with this much history, tradition, and strong fan bases and loyal fan bases, because these 2 teams have been dog crap for 30 years. So it's, the fans are real fans. So I buy into the hype. I think it's kind of floundered a little bit recently because both teams have been so bad. But now that the 2 teams have, somewhat improved, I think it is coming back. And the 1-2 quarterback draft last year certainly helped it. So I'm here for it if it is real. I don't do social media, so I don't know what you're talking about there. But no, I'm all in on a Bears-Redskins rivalry, Bears-Commanders rivalry. I do think it's a real thing.
Well, and then you got the Hail Mary from last year when we beat him on the last play of the
Absolutely.
game, too, adding fuel to that fire. And then, of course, Mike, there's also the players that have switched lines, if you will, right? Olamide Zacchaeus or Oz from last year was with the Commanders. He's now with the Bears. Montez Sweat, former Commanders, now with the Bears. And I believe that they have entertained a few other players between the 2. And I think we have Eddie Goldman or something like that. We have one of their defensive ends, whatever, that was with the Bears for a period of time. All right, let's talk turkey with this matchup here. Mike, we're going to start with you. Let's look at this Bears offense, and I want you to tell me how Joe Witt might game plan to stop it. As I mentioned before, they are led by the dynamic Caleb Williams. Their running back is DeAndre Swift. They have a trio or a quintet of receivers that can really do some damage. DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Olamide Zacchaeus, who we know very well. They also have Luther Burden III that they drafted this year. And then you'll see some contributions from Devin Duvernay and Jahadi Walker. They have a very good tight end duo with Cole Kmet, who's been in Chicago for quite some time and is very athletic and makes some plays. Colston Loveland, the rookie out of Michigan, who can be highly effective. And their offensive line, who they spent a lot of money on this offseason. They have Theo Benedect, Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, and Darnell Wright. Put your Joe Witt hat on for me, Mike. How are we shutting this attack down?
Honestly, it might sound simple, but making Caleb Williams beat you. I just feel like sometimes he has the tendency to panic and throw some panic balls up, and this defense, while not generating turnovers, can be opportunistic, and it's something that Joe Witt preaches a lot. So I think if you can find a way to minimize the run early, not let Swift get going, find a way to slow down them tight ends too. If Caleb Williams is to beat you, just try to keep the ball away from the tight ends because of the suspect coverage of the linebackers. I just would try to pay special attention to the tight ends this week. But outside of that, I feel like you can generate enough pressure on Caleb to get him to force him into more mistakes and get a lead on him and force the ball into his hands even more. That might be a recipe for success, as crazy as it sounds. knowing that Washington is like 28th in passing or something crazy like that, I still would try to put the ball in Caleb Williams' hands because he can make a couple of mistakes, and I think they'll take advantage of that.
And not only that, I would add that like you want to keep Caleb Williams on rhythm. He's at his best when he's off script. He's moving around, making plays outside of the pocket. Let him be in the pocket, right? Rush to keep him in the pocket, make him make good, true quarterback throws. He's completed about 62% of his passes. He has 8 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. He's taken 7 sacks. He will run the ball. He has 24 carries, 110 yards. It's about a 4.6 yard average. And he has 2 fumbles. So he's fumbling on average 1 out of every 12 carries. So certainly getting to the quarterback can help us, but do it intelligently. Don't break outside contain and let him be a freestyler. That is where he succeeds. All right. Eric, let's talk about their defense and what you think Cliff Kingsbury might be doing to create an offensive game plan. They have Edmonds at linebacker, Sewell at linebacker, Byard at at safety. Brisker is their other safety. They have Wright at cornerback, Stevenson, McLeod. Those are guys, they're pretty decent, but they're not elite unto themselves. But I think they're a better collective unit than they are individuals. You have Montez Sweat, who we know, Odobingo, Hardy, Owens. They got a bunch of guys. I actually should have pulled up the depth chart for you, Eric. I was just reading guys' names.
I got it in front of me. It's all good.
Yeah, you go ahead with the depth chart.
Oh, that was lying. I don't really have it in front of me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, you pretty much covered it. I would slightly disagree with you on the safeties. I think that those are 2 really good playmaking safeties, Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker. Brisker's had some health issues, but when he's healthy, he's very good. Kevin Byard's been a stud in Tennessee, Philly, and now in Chicago. So that defense, the back end of that secondary is very good. As far as how this team is going to attack, it's 100% going to be running the ball. I think Bill is in for a big game, or he's in for a lot of, I don't know if he's going to have a big game, but he's going to get a lot of work. Bears are giving up 165 yards a game on the ground right now. We just saw Washington, they've got 2 of the top 3 rushing performances on offense so far this season. And that's the way their offense works. That takes pressure off Jayden Daniels. Bill had showed last week when he was on my bench in fantasy football that he can tote the rock and he can be that lead back. I expect to see more of that and hopefully better results because he's playing this week. I think everything starts with the run game. It's been a weakness for the Bears and a strength for the Commanders, so they'd be foolish to not do it as long as Cliff Kingsbury doesn't try to outsmart himself and just, well, they expect me to run, so I'm going to throw. I think he's a better offensive coordinator than that, so I think it is going to be a run-heavy day. I think all 3 backs are going to get a lot of work, but Bill's going to be that lead back. I think he's earned it at this point, and look for some big plays over the top from Jayden to my boy Luke McCaffrey, who's blowing up, by the way. He's hitting, once a game anyway, he's hitting a big play. So great to see that. Possibly Terry McLaurin, they're hopeful he's going to be able to play this week. That'll be a big boost as well. Deebo Samuel has just really got a good niche in this offense. They've really carved out a role for him that's very well defined, and he is maximizing that. He's doing really well. But I think it starts with the run game, and you're going to sprinkle in some big plays in the passing game because you're going to build off that run game. And I think the offense can have a really good week this week against the Chicago Bears.
Well, and I will add that, Byard has 3 interceptions on the year, so he's not a nobody. He is 32, though, and in football years, that's up there. So in terms of points per game, Chicago's offense is putting up about 25 points a game. Their defense is giving up 29.3 points per game. So as a unit, they're giving up about 30 points per game. Let's see, they've given up 14 touchdowns, and they've scored 11 touchdowns of their own, and that's in 4 games. They are coming off a bye week, and that's important to mention because, they get extra time to plan and strategize for the Commanders. They are about, 45% third down efficiency, and they're giving up about 29.27% third down efficiency, 60% fourth down, while they only convert themselves 40% fourth down. All right. So Jayden and Caleb, right? The 2-1-2 draft picks, some of the brightest stars in the league. If you had to redo that draft, I think Jayden goes first. I don't know that Caleb goes second, right? I think you could consider Bo Nix, Drake May, folks in that area as potentially going before Caleb, maybe both. And then you can figure out where Caleb fits in after that. Would you guys agree with that?
I would say yes.
Yes, Knicks, no.
Knicks, yeah, Knicks. I don't want to badmouth Bo Nix because he's done way better than I thought. I badmouthed him enough before the draft, and he's proven me wrong. But I think Knicks landed in the perfect situation in Denver. I don't know that if he goes 2 or 3 that he has the same level of success, because I just think that he is exactly what Sean Payton wants in a quarterback. Drake May, again, as good as Jayden Daniels has been, and I would never take at this point, like I'm completely happy with Jayden Daniels. I'd still be happy if they had taken Drake May because I think he has really shown in a completely different situation last year that he was capable. And this year you can see it. He's playing really well this year. But again, I'm not trading Jayden for him at this point. But I think, yeah, both May and Jayden obviously go ahead of Caleb Williams. And I think it's a lot close. He's a lot closer to Penix and Bo Nix than he is to May and Jayden personally.
McCarthy as well is in that bucket too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's jury's out on him. We don't know yet.
We don't know. Right. All right. Talk to me how you think this game is going to go, Eric. All things considered, on Monday Night Football, the brightest stage, how do you think it's going to go with the Bears and the Commanders?
Yeah, the Bears defense is tailor-made for the Commanders offense to have a lot of success, which scares the crap out of me because it's a national TV. These are the Commanders, and I've been alive for the past 30 years. So it never goes how you think it's going to go. On paper, this looks like Washington can score 35 or 40 points. It really does. I'm not going there. I'm not going that route because it's just things are going to happen. The Bears, winners of 2 in a row, coming off a bye week, they're going to be well rested. I'm 100% positive, have this date circled on their calendar. Ben Johnson, of course, got the doors blown off of him in Detroit last year. And, really the game ended on a terrible play call by him. I'm sure he remembers that as well. So I think this game is actually going to be a dogfight. And as much as I want to put Washington scoring 35 points, I don't think they will. I am going to take Washington as the home team because I'm a homer, but I'm going to go 24-21. Good guys.
Okay. Mike, same question for you.
Piggybacking off of what he said, definitely feel like Washington is primed for a good running game on Monday night. I also think you can't sleep on Jayden Daniels either, regardless of who the opposing defense is. He competes. Even in the Packers game, the team might have been awful, but he himself wasn't as awful as the rest of the team was. So as long as you have 5 on your team, I really feel like you will never, ever be out of a game. But as far as how it'll go, I just feel like Washington as a team is just really tight right now, man. You just can sense it with the coaching that they have, the players that they have, the camaraderie, the connection. It just seems to be there. Thinking back on Sunday when before Jayden and Debo connected on the 4th and 7th touchdown, they're literally practicing their celebration before the 4th down play. They hit it, they do their little dance, and Washington's hitting East with a 17-point dub. And I just feel like that synergy with this team right now is just too much for Chicago to overcome. And I'm going to stick with the Mike from Southwest Special, 24-10 Commanders.
Well, the Bears don't do the 2 things that seem to rattle the Commanders' cage. They don't rush the passer very well, and then they don't stop the run. Those are things that really work in our favor. And last week I told you on this podcast that the Chargers were frauds. And what happened? We proved that the Chargers were frauds. I'm gonna go into this bag again this week. So if you look at who the Bears have played, they played the Vikings week 1, 27-24. That was a loss. Week 1 is always up and down and interesting. The Vikings aren't as good as they were last year. They lost their quarterback, and they had J.J. McCarthy in that game, mind you. And I think the Bears were actually leading relatively decently in that game, and McCarthy brought them back. Then the Bears went to Detroit or played against Detroit and got their doors blown off 52-21. So one okay team, one good team. Then the Bears play the Cowboys. They beat up on the Cowboys 31-14. Cowboys are not good. Okay. They have an offense. They do some things. Yeah, it gets cute. They're not good. Then they played the Raiders 25-24 to the Raiders 25-24, right? My synopsis is the Bears aren't a very good football team. They've taken advantage of early starts in the season and bad football teams. And then when they play teams that are even decent, they get handled. The Commanders are going to handle the Bears, put them in a reality check. It's Monday night. Jayden plays big under the lights. Man, it's going to be 48-16 Commanders. 48-16
Ooh,
Commanders over the
Tired
Bears.
of you and Eddie with these outrageous. He
yeah.
picked last week. He picked the Chargers to win 35-14. I mean, Commanders to win 35-14. So I
Was it
don't know.
close?
Maybe
It was close.
I was about to
But you
say
two,
maybe I'm the one that's tripping.
Yeah, you
at
are.
Maybe
Commanders
I'm the one
Declassified
that's tripping.
Chicago fans, you go at him.
Yeah, that's your boy.
Disrespectful right there.
WFT to be exact. But
Would you say 48-16?
48-16. You heard me.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, we put up digits. All right. So, and then if you look at the Bears schedule after this game, they're probably going to go on a 4-game win streak because they play the Saints, they play the Ravens, they play the Bengals, and then they play the Giants, right? Back to back to back. That's a sweet schedule that they play. Then they don't win another game the rest of the season because they come back for part 2 of the Vikings. Then they play the Steelers. Then they play the Eagles. Then they play the Packers. And then they play the Browns, who I think the Browns by this point in the season are a pretty tough team defensively. And I don't know if we'll see Shador by then or if it's still Dylan Gabriel because they just traded Joe Flacco. But we'll see. The Browns defensively, though, are enough to put up a fight against the Bears. The Bears then play the Packers again. They play the Niners, who will be fighting for probably the top 5 seed in the NFC. And then they play the Lions again. So the Bears are going to go on a 4-game win streak after they play us. And then they're done for the season in terms of wins. That's what I think is going to happen. So take that, Bears fans. But from a Commander's perspective, how significant of a win is this for us, Eric?
We haven't won yet, so.
Well, more so like how significant is it that we win this game versus
it's huge. You got to win this game. The Washington schedule is very brutal coming up. I know Dallas the following week, which is regardless of what you think of the Cowboys, that's always a tough game for Washington. And then the schedule just gets brutal after that. So yeah, you got to stack wins when you can get them. You already kind of gave one away early, against Atlanta that you probably should have had. And you could have had, if you'd been maybe at full strength, but who knows, Atlanta played a really good game that week. So you've kind of given one up there, but it's really important to stack wins because it's going to be tough to make the playoffs this season. And it's going to be even tougher if they drop a game that they should win against the Chicago Bears this week.
Agreed. And it's got to be done running the football with the running backs, not the quarterback. It's got to be done, right? Let's make sure we hit the ground first and then get our guys involved. Sam Cosmi back this week, you guys? Have you heard one way or another? I think I heard that there was some optimism, but I haven't heard much since.
Yeah. Same with him, McLaurin, Noah Brown, Cosmi. They're all like questionable.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So imagine if we got all those guys back and just punch the Bears in the mouth, 48-16. It's going to happen on Monday Night Football, and we're all going to go to sleep Monday night feeling like we just won the lottery. It's going to be that.
You mean Tuesday morning like a mug?
No. This game's going to be out of reach early. We're all going to bed still at Monday night and wake up Tuesday. How about that? So, all right. We're feeling good about ourselves. At least I am. If you haven't noticed, so Commanders declassified, huge win this week against the Chargers, and now we're going to go into this Monday night game with a massive amount of confidence behind us to go ahead and take care of these Bears. So, all right, Eric, final thoughts?
Bill, I'm sorry I benched you. please, this is Chicago. Eat against Chicago. You can do it. Destroy them. I want 200 yards against Chicago. You owe me.
You owe him, man. You didn't believe in him. Mike, your final thoughts for this week, man?
I want to see more Jordan McGee. He had 12 plays against the Chargers on Sunday, and he moves well. He looked good, and I would like to see more of him, especially on passing downs. No disrespect to Wagner at all. He's still like top 2 in the NFL in total tackles this season. So obviously he can still play. But in these coverage plays, man, just feel like more speed is needed. Even throw a little Madrano out there, man. I don't think I've seen him since the preseason.
You
My
better.
goodness. But let's get some youth movement going in this pass coverage. I feel like that may be the key to unlocking better coverage overall. But I'm very confident in the team's ability to take care of lesser, weaker teams. And I feel like Chicago is one of those teams. I'm going to keep it a buck. So we should get a comfortable win, but I'm going to stick with the 24-20.
I just want to apologize to John Bates again for not believing in him when they drafted him. And, I know this is probably about the third time I've apologized to John Bates, but he's just that good as a blocker, man. I'm sorry, dude. John, forgive me. I will never doubt you again. And that's my final thoughts. Sorry, John Bates. I'll be captain of the apology club, and I hope they sign you to a lifetime contract. That's just how I feel right now. He is springing running backs left and right. Also, shout out
Shame.
to we said shame. Conley hasn't looked bad either the last couple of weeks too. So he's growing every week. We got a lot of players making plays, but that's what good quarterbacks do. They galvanize the team to play above expectations, and it was evident against the Chargers. Stay healthy, everybody. We are gonna be out of here. Make sure you're subscribed. Tell your friends to tell some friends, and yeah, that's it. Commanders Declassified. We're out of here. We'll catch you next week. Peace.